Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I hope you're all doing well. And for those of us that went to San Antonio, I hope you got some kind of sleep when you got back or maybe on the plane. I'm not sure. I did an all-nighter on Saturday night so that I didn't miss my plane on Sunday. And that was a mistake because
Yeah,
I'm still paying for it right now. Ugh.
it was a joyful time, I'm sure, because I know there was more than just one person that stayed up all night. So that's cool. That's cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, we just didn't hang out together. Like we all
Oh
went to our
no.
individual corners to
Ah,
pack and all that kind of stuff and then met up.
gotcha.
Yeah, like I went back to my room, watched the last of the Canelo fight with a bunch of the guys, and then everybody dispersed and I took everything out of the bedroom and put it in the living room so that Keith could go to sleep and I didn't have to keep him awake. And then I took a shower to just sort of, you know, basically like wash the day off and maybe even wake up a little bit.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
ended up downstairs in the lobby, half awake, half asleep on the couch until Charlie, Eric, and Joe showed up. And I woke up to their voices talking. So I was like, oh, somebody's down here. Okay, great.
It's time. It's
Yeah,
time.
it's getting there.
Yeah, that's cool. And I love too that if anybody that has the opportunity to watch us on YouTube, that we are up with a new background specifically for the convention, which is basically design off mostly of our shirt, and ended up being everybody loved it. I will say I voted against it. I'm just going to be clear about it. I'm not familiar with these little pieces of paper decoration things. I didn't notice them anywhere else, and I've never really spent a lot of time in Texas. But even in our local Mexican restaurant, they're up now that I look for them, and I don't know how I ever missed them. But originally, it came up and like I don't know. I don't know if anybody will get that. I just don't. It didn't. It's cluttered and busy, and it's hard. There's so much going on. It's a very busy image, but it's supposed to be. It's
Yeah.
it's about that energy. It's about so many things going on. Let's get this stuff done. So
Yep.
it worked out very well, and I am once again happy that I got outvoted. This happens at a time or two, and it's usually for the best.
I like it. I think it turned out wonderful, and
Yeah,
it definitely caught the eyes of people when you walked around with it as well. There were lots of
right.
people commenting on it,
Hmm.
especially Friday when we all went out with our shirts on after taking the group photo, which I always think that's a
Yeah,
great way to like sort of kind of promote that we're in town as
yeah,
well.
yeah. We're
Um,
here.
yeah, so and that was a lot of fun. And the nice part too, I really like the fact that we had multiple places to go to, so we're able to sort of spread out along the Riverwalk and not
Hmm.
just be in like one location. That was really
Yeah,
cool.
it was almost like I was talking with Derek Tetlow on Monday, and he said it's almost like a resort.
Yeah,
It's
a
like
little
you're
bit.
at a resort almost. It's got that feel of, yeah, everybody's here to enjoy themselves and have a good time. And there's a million different things, places to go and people to see and all that. And I thought that was a great way to look at it because all of that area of San Antonio is just I mean, with the river walk, the river, the animals, there were freaking mockingbirds everywhere. I'd never seen. I don't think I've ever seen a mockingbird in person. I may have and forgotten it, but man, at about sundown every night, there's two trees in front of the hotel,
Yep.
and there would be 50 of them in each tree, and all of them just screaming at each other. And I could hear it. If you were eating at the kickback, which you should be eating at the kickback in Drury, that's one of the best features. You could hear them through the window,
Oh
you
wow.
know, like there'd be, it's just like, I was like, is something, what is the squeaking and beeping? What is going on? Because little noises like that, I've got to find out what they are. So I make sure nothing's going to blow up. Right. So, right. You never know. It might be a bomb. It could be a
I
bomb. You don't know it's not a bomb. So you might as well check. Right.
I paid no attention to them. I don't even remember hearing them actually the entire time I was there. So,
I have a video that I took of both of them so I could
oh
send it to
wow.
Marnie, and I would show it here or show it to other people, but I do cuss in it. So we might have to beep it a little because I'm like,
Because
and
you're
I'm just
yelling
looking
at
at them
them.
like, no, it took me like, I'm watching and watching, and they just keep going and going. And I'm like, what the F? What is with these? And of course, Marnie loves birds, so I had to get her a picture of a bird. I'm like, well, here you go. Here's your picture of 57 mockingbirds screaming at each, and there were different
Oh my
songs and stuff.
goodness.
And I'm like, just a cacophony. It was just ridiculous. So,
Hmm. Well,
but
to go along with this design that we were talking about,
yeah,
I just wanted to point out that that was put together by Jonathan Heisey Grove from Heisey
mm,
Grove Design, and
yep, yep,
he. For those of you who
doing the
don't know,
work.
Jonathan's a former president of the organization, and he's even though he's working, he's still involved with the organization. And this this shirt just came out great. I think this is one of the first shirts that doesn't have any sponsorship on it at all. It's literally just HomeDadCon, and then dads don't
Yep,
babysit on the back. And
yep.
I think it's a
Yep.
neat little design there,
I'm
and how
glad you
that
like it.
works. I don't know
And
that
I will.
that's white. I've heard whisperings that that was not how that was supposed to
No,
go down.
nope.
But hey, it is what it is, and
Yep. And we technically really we didn't have all of those sponsors like specifically paying money up to the scholar to the sponsorship level necessarily. Movember is a great example. They basically sent Bob Evans down. They took care of him for the most part, and that was, I mean, Movember's amazing. So just that we had the chance to get him to speak, but
yeah,
it should have been on there, but really, it wasn't promised to anyone. But we had sent multiple files to try to see what would look good, what would look best, and they just ended up somewhere down the line putting that one on the back. I heard two things about it. One that this is great, people like it, and that's cool. I like to hear that, and I'm sure JHG will love it because it was a great design. But the only other thing that I heard that was anyway a complaint was, so it says dads don't babysit, but it doesn't say it's called parenting. What's up with that, Danny? And I'm like, there's a survey for that because I don't know. I just this is the way the shirt went. I mean, I said I didn't want to do this shirt, and I will tell you the real reason, or one of the main reasons I thought this shirt might be not a great idea is because this design looks amazing on a black shirt. It does not look quite as good on a white shirt. But
no.
we're going to, again, one of the hottest states in America, like we did in Phoenix, and we're giving people a black shirt.
I will say though, it
I'm
was
just
not as hot
saying,
as Phoenix though. It was
no,
not as
no,
hot as
not at all.
Phoenix.
Nice breeze with the river right there. Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was
And
comfortable.
when you walk under the bridge, there's like a little restaurant in there. There's a taco bar and stuff, and
Yeah,
street tacos, and then it's got the little water things dripping on you, like they had in, did you walk through there
the
at all?
misting area. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did the water hit you in the face?
I didn't. I
Did it
don't
hit you?
think it.
Because
No.
it definitely missed me.
Yeah, I didn't get any water in my face.
It missed me.
It misted you? Okay, it
Missed me.
missed
No, it
you.
missed
Yeah.
me. It missed me.
I just, I think I walked by it quite fast because I did not really see or understand why I would want to sit at a bar and get a shower at the same time. Like,
It's just a mist. Just a
that,
nice touch of humidity,
uh-huh.
which you need in Texas.
No,
No,
no, you don't.
it does drop the temperature though, but you're right there by the river, which also does
I do appreciate the fact that when we were at the Iron Cactus, they had a fan outside that actually was helping to blow some air
get some movement. Yeah.
outside on us. That was yeah, a little bit of movement. That was nice. So,
Mm-hmm. But
but
the
yeah,
up
yeah,
on the street there was a nice breeze. Like you said, it wasn't that hot, or it wasn't as hot as I was expecting. Definitely not as hot as Phoenix. But the
no.
temperatures the week before were 104, I think, like the
Hmm.
Thursday before we started arriving. And I'm like, wow, okay. Got down into the really even just the low 90s all week tops. I'm like, okay, this is nothing. We can handle this. You might sweat a little, but you're not gonna pass out probably. Just
I mean, I
get some
walked
water,
around on
go in the
Thursday
shop.
with Joe and Tony just taking photos of like murals and stuff, and
Nice.
I wasn't sweating that bad. It wasn't too awful. So that was kind of nice and actually comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
especially for walking around in Texas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
we,
was good. It was a really nice time.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a good showing. I don't know the exact numbers of how many total were there, but I know that there were like 19 or 20 like brand new to the con that came,
Mm-hmm.
and
Like 20.
20, yeah, and so that's huge. I know that I met a few of them, not all of them, of course, but definitely got to meet quite a few, which was cool. I actually had a couple of surprises while I was there because there were two guys who came from like the Ohio, Kentucky area that I didn't really know,
Hmm.
and bumped into them, and so that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they got connected with the organization. The one guy actually found us through Reddit, through a subreddit for stay-at-home dads, which didn't really even realize that that was something that was out there.
Hmm.
And so definitely have to look into that because
Yeah.
we
Stay home
might
dad
need
it.
to start we might need to start pushing the podcast onto that thread to get a little bit of extra
Yeah.
from
Help a few
there.
more
So
dads
yeah, get
to
a few
help
more
a
dads
few more
connected.
dads,
Yeah,
not to get views and listens, you number person.
whatever. You do one thing,
Build
I'll
our
do another,
community.
okay?
That's why we compliment each other, why we
It's
work so
hands
well.
shaking hands,
Yeah.
holding
Yeah. But staying
hands.
home dad, it's really cool. I've been on that only, I mean, not even six. I like been aware of it, but I haven't actually been on it for stuff the last maybe 3, 6 months. But so it seems like a good group of people
That's good.
so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, somebody suggested it, HomeDadCon on
Hmm.
there, and that's how they found it. So
Hmm.
I decided to take the suggestion and run with it.
It
So
might have
yeah,
been me.
might have been you.
It might
Oh,
have been,
okay.
yeah. So I'm just going to say, I never set up a Reddit account that I recall. I I don't know. I had one that I set up with a name that I used to use all over. Al Stays Home is my like in-game name and stuff like that. Cool. Had that for I don't know 15 years at least. So cool, cool. I like that name. It's familiar to me. People know me, recognize me. But I go on Reddit and it sent me an email about a post. I'm like, oh well, I want to talk about that. So I get on and I talk about it a little bit. And somebody was like, oh, thank you, Accomplished Bread. And that's my
What?
Reddit name. My Reddit
A
name is
comp?
Accomplished Bread, like a bread that has made accomplishments. I don't know, but see, a lot of Reddit names are oddly generated for you. So
And so the auto-generated. Yeah.
I think they must be because I'm like, I know, because I actually asked my kids, I was like, look, it's fine if you did it. I just need to be aware of how this happened. Did any of you sign up for Reddit and happen to use my email address or something? And they're like, no. And I'm like, does anybody recognize? Because I thought it was somebody else's account at first. Like, does anybody recognize who know, Accomplished Bread? I think it's Accomplished Bread 99 or something is. And they're like, what? Dad, no, never heard of it. I'm like, man, what's going on? Evidently, at some point in the past. Yeah. So, and I've
Okay.
got one for like my Yahoo mail, which is all my spam. I don't, it's not a real email address. If I give you my, if I give you my Yahoo account, that means I probably don't really when I have a communication, it's going to be more where I see your ads and stuff. I don't want to buy a t-shirt every week for the rest of my life. But thanks, t-shirt person that I bought one t-shirt from. Please keep sending me emails every week. Yeah, my spam folder's like, wow, didn't you ask for this? No, no, shut up and just
No.
eat it. I don't want to see it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Okay.
for that and then my Gmail, one of them is Accomplished Bread, and I'm like, good Lord, what happened there?
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, and and I will say too that what we're seeing and going into this next year, especially about the convention, and the thing you mentioned about people finding each other at the convention, there have been 3 instances that I know of people that had never met that lived within 20 miles of each other at this convention. Three different
Yeah.
people met three different other people that lived, and I've had people like, I can't believe it. We live like they live right over there by the I don't know, the school or something, and we can just go hang out all the time. And I love that.
Yep.
Um,
That was pretty cool too. Yep.
it's amazing. And then it's leading up to into this year where we're going to be producing images of flyers that people can print out at their local library or whatever and put up at their local library or whatever about the Chicago convention because this is going to be our biggest ever.
Yeah.
And we want to meet all of these small groups of people. We want to find all the areas where, like I live nowhere near a large city. Is there a dad group near me? If there's not, should I start one? And the answer is yes. For anybody thinking that of themselves, yes, you should. You and one other dad makes a group. You're good. You
Yeah.
can move forward. So
We're two or more convene. You have a dad group.
you have a you have a dad con. And the other thing is everybody's like, why don't we do this more often? And I'm like, cool, 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 cool,
Oh, I
cool, cool.
love that. I love that and that question.
I
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Come join the
almost
planning committee and find out why.
dead right now just thinking of that question because we're already planning Chicago, of course. We have been for a while. The actual like committee isn't open to like the general membership yet who want to volunteer, but we've been working on it because how could we not? We got to get this thing. I mean, it's got to
My
be
my mind, body,
good,
and
but whew,
soul just went ugh
yeah.
at
Yeah,
the
it
at
is
the words.
a metric ton of work. And I every time someone says something, I say, well, you should join the planning committee next time. And they
Mm-hmm.
never do. I've never had anybody yet that I said that I remember that I said that to and they actually joined because it is a pain. It is a hard job. You've got to meet at least once per month
Yep.
first. Second, you've got to take ownership of things that have to happen at the convention. And
Mm-hmm.
third, you got to be at the convention to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I missed out. You and I know from the last 2 years alone, you and I have missed out on having chances to talk to each other or even to record a podcast, to just spend time with each other, just to sit around.
Yep.
We've had to like I think Cincinnati was the last time we had a cigar together or anything like that, or even a sat down for food together. I mean,
I
it's
think the
just
last time we sat down and had a cigar together was a board retreat in Milwaukee,
was
I
it?
think. Yeah. I'm pretty
Well,
sure that's
anyway, it's been a while either way because
yeah.
the convention's too busy. It's not a when you're working.
Yep.
But I will
It's
say, I don't mean to sound like I hate it. I won't do it again. I love it. It has been an amazing opportunity. The convention, I think, went over very well at a professional level, which I think we take that as an accolade. The planning committee needs to look at that and go, look, no, it wasn't perfect. No, we're not actually like at the level of, I don't know what other convention you can think of Dragon Con, which is cool. We're not there. Cool, cool. But we did an excellent job. Anything that happened, we pivoted really quickly or already had a plan in place in case it happened. We
yeah.
had multiple redundancies. We're still using Keith's production schedule, changed to this year that he brought in last year, which for me was like, we didn't have a production schedule before. Like, wow, we wrote stuff down and I'm like, wow, no, I like this big sheet where I can go, who's where. I was looking at one of the breakout sessions and I'm like, okay, I can't record either of these breakouts
I
because I'll be
saw that comment.
leading a
Yep.
breakout. So who's got it? And
I
you don't
saw that
realize how much work
conversation.
it is, but it's really, really rewarding. It really is. Everybody on the committee, even if you were just involved a little bit, seriously grateful for everybody because it does take a team, a village to make a con, and it is a lot of work, but it's worth it to me.
Yeah.
You know,
No, it was
it's
it
great.
was great to see how things moved really well. I this year kind of just was like, I'm not really gonna get involved in anything. I mean, I had that presentation with Joe, which went really well. We had like t over 20 guys show up
Hmm.
for that, which was
Yeah, yeah.
just awesome. And
And it was a breakout on. I
it
think
was
you
a
should.
breakout on basically talking about how you have built up equity in the skills while being a stay-at-home dad and how
Hmm.
to transform those into a resume to get even
Yeah.
just a part-time job,
And
whatever
what
you're
a
looking
cool
for.
thing that, like right now, if you're just starting, if you just started as an at-home parent, there are skills that you can pick up while you're doing this that can transfer to a job outside the home.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, that
So
was my
knowing that.
yeah, and
Oh,
that was my one of my things was like,
hmm.
keep a running resume of the things that you're doing because you can pick and choose when you're actually filling out, have to do a resume because maybe not everything fits in there, but, two or three things is all you need really on a
Hmm.
resume to show somebody that you can handle that job. So,
Right.
yeah, it was a good presentation. We enjoyed it.
It was.
It it honestly like Joe and I sat down and we did was we're like, all right, like what do we want to do? And I'm like, hey, like what if we just ask them some questions to just sort of get their brains firing? We can look through and then talk about it and then kind of as a community work to figure out how to address each thing. And it was so organic that there were guys in there who also just came in one to support Joe and I in our talk, but two to be there for these guys who were like, I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. and then for them to basically say things like one guy was like, well, I want to do this, and then I was like, well, there's a guy in the room here who actually has gone through and done that.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to
Right.
him. And
Right.
and that was really, to me, like that was, you know the spark that really set that room off. And
Hmm.
it was just it was a really good talk. And yeah, I hope that some of the guys take the time to reach out to Joe and I, or any others that were in there, that
Hmm.
it was cool. Derek Tetlow, talking about him earlier, he came in, he's like, is it okay if I'm in here? He's like, I started a business a while. I'm like, dude, you are exactly where you need to be right now. Like,
Right.
this is
Yeah.
exactly what we want. It doesn't, because like Joe and I only have so much on this, and it's like you want other people who are at a level higher than you, that kind of thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was really cool. But yeah, that one went really well. I really enjoyed the dad braids breakout.
Hmm.
Strider
Strider
Patton,
Patton,
he
man.
was so cool to have there, and it was so neat to see like just a huge group. I think there were like 40 dads in that room. It
Hmm.
was packed.
I didn't
And
even try. I was like,
he
I'm not gonna
came
be able to
ready,
fit in
man.
there. He did. I was
He came
amazed.
ready. Yeah.
Yeah, he had the
He,
whole, like every chair in the room had a little braid on the back of it. It was amazing. And I told
yeah.
him, I went in ahead of time and I said, look, I just want you to be aware that we will probably overfill this. It's just I we don't know how many people because nobody signs up or anything like that, but
Yep.
we will reach that limit, whatever it is, and everybody else is just going to have to go somewhere else. And there you don't need to change anything, you don't need to do anything, and the dads are aware and will probably have no problem with it. So, but just so that you know, it's this is our whatever limit you've got is where we stop. We
Yep.
we don't expect you to fit because I think every person could have been in there. I think if
Easily.
we'd made that like one of the main, I don't know that I would want to make it a keynote necessarily, but definitely one of the main stage speakers
Oh, it would have
and
been
just be like,
crazy as a keynote.
yeah, and just have the entire room of, I don't know how many, 80, 90 guys in there all looking at it going, huh? Because what I learned is that it's way easier than I thought it was. But the things that I've watched in the past, and Strider talked about this when he was on the show, the things I've watched in the past just kind of assume you've been doing it your whole life. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you want to learn how to do this braid? Cool. Well, then you do this other braid, and then you move it into this. And I'm like, wait, how do you do that other? How are your hands moving so fast?
Yeah.
But watching because I only stuck my head in there for a minute, I think. But watching one of the guys do it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. This is cool, nice and slow, and you know,
It went really well. Like I was, I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do with it. And so like Strider was walking around trying to help people, but at the same time too,
hmm.
talking to people. He was doing his thing. And there were definitely some guys who were struggling, and I broke away from what I was doing to go walk around at least my table of guys, and
Hmm.
just try to help them the best I could. They were picking it up pretty fast. One of
Awesome.
the dads, he has issues with his hands, and so from a previous just situation in life, and so he was talking about how frustrating it was that he couldn't figure it out. And just to be standing there beside him and just giving
Hmm.
him you know encouragement, like, hey, it's all right, you're trying, like that's the important part.
Yeah.
And yes, it is super frustrating. I can see that for you. And just kind of
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
give him different ways to go about like attacking the situation that would be comfortable for him. Like, yeah, and I think Strider was even maybe a little taken back on the fact, like, oh yeah, like this, I've never actually come upon a dad that was trying to do this,
That's
but
something.
has this disability in their hands to really be able to like do this. Because we're all, the rest are like, oh yeah, like we can just turn it over, no big deal.
Yeah.
But when you have to really think about it, and not just from a standpoint of like, hey, slow down, I see it, but I can't figure it out, but just like I need to talk to my hands and be like, hey, fingers, like do
Hmm.
what I'm asking you to do instead of what you think I need to be doing right now. Kind of,
Right. Right.
you could just see that. So yeah, it was good, man. It was a lot of fun. And I hope that he comes back just to even just hang out, like
Hmm.
because he seemed to really enjoy being around all the guys and
Yeah. Seemed like a nice
doing
person
that.
too. Very cool.
Yeah, super nice guy. So definitely
So,
enjoyed that.
other than obviously my own breakout and obviously your breakout, those would put those aside, right? For me, two things really hit me. Our opening speaker was Dr. Laura Widman, and she's a professor of psychology at Florida State, I believe.
Hmm.
And she was there to talk about, and I'm gonna mangle it probably if I don't look it up real quick. But she was there on Friday as our opening speaker, and her title of her presentation was "Being an Approachable Parent, Talking to Kids About Sex and Puberty."
Yeah.
And bringing that subject to the forefront in any environment is a little bit, we don't know what we're going to get, kind of, how people are going to react, are they going to want to do it? But the other part of it was that she really tailored it to people with kids of all ages, even young kids,
Yeah.
because you need to start these conversations. You need to use the actual words for things, which I love that message. Don't call it a, I don't know, a birdie or whatever, call it a penis, make sure you use the actual words because that's very important as they go through life.
Yep.
And that was all great. But what was really cool for me is Dr. Widman has an app, right? And it's called, I think it's Let's Talk. I think it's Let's Talk.
I think it's
I'm
Let's
going to
Talk as
screw this
well.
up. Yeah. Yeah, Let's Talk, an interactive platform that provides a new way for parents and kids aged 10 to 13 to start talking about puberty, sex, and relationships, right? And I'm like, Dr. Whitman, very nice to meet you. I love the idea of your app. I can't wait for a chance to get into it and look at it because I was working for a little while in focus groups for Wellesley University with Dr. And Dr. Woodman interrupted me and goes, Jenny? And I'm like, holy crap. Yeah. Like, what, you know her? And they're like, yeah, yeah. And it was really hilarious. 'Cause I'm like, oh my God, it's such a small world, but they're in very, very closely related fields because,
Yeah.
um, but it was just amazing for me personally. That was my moment. That was just so neat, right? Um, and that was one of the coolest talks for me because it's a lot of stuff that I've been trying to learn about recently, and to make sure I'm more educated to possibly help other people learn about it. Because I think my kids I'm doing okay with, but can I tell you how to talk to your kids? No, I don't feel I can maybe help, but I don't feel qualified really, and I want more education in that. So it's been really cool seeing what they're doing at Florida State. Um, but I'll say my both my most difficult and my favorite was Bob Evans from Movember. And the name of his talk was Brave Men Talk, and we had him on the show previously, and we knew that he was coming in to talk about testicular cancer and prostate cancer and mental health. And I'd seen his video before, so I knew his story, and I was okay with that, and I was good. But then he started talking about the mental health aspect of it, and this part he put up a video um, on people reading suicide notes,
Mm.
and it was rough. It was really rough. And he had like that shows like five or six people reading just like the first beginning and the reading the first sentences and things throughout their own. So it's each person, it's like a montage of people talking about these suicide letters that they have. And then at the end, after I'm bawling and I'm almost choking, I can't talk. And it turned out that those were the letters that the people reading them had written previously. That this is my letter. I wrote this a couple of years ago. I wrote this a year ago. I wrote this 10 years, whatever. This was a letter that I wrote, and I gave to my family or left for my family to read. And I was at that point, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I almost had to walk out. I mean, it hit me really, really deep for that one, because of my own time in that arena, so to speak. And it was amazing to just feel the quiet in that room as those letters were being read, and then that moment of almost relief, realization that, oh, okay, these are not the family of people that had someone that had been killed by suicide. These were people that suicide had been unable to kill, and I'm like, rock on, let's go. I felt like the energy in the room just changed 180 degrees at that moment. And for me, that was the biggest moment, or one of the biggest moments, really. But it was a really impactful moment in my con experience this year.
Yeah, no, definitely. I actually like I was kind of in and out for both like David Lambert's talk and also Bob Evans's talk.
Hmm.
There was a bunch of things going on
I love
Saturday
Dr.
morning.
Lambert. I love
So
Dr. Lambert.
yeah, uh I kind of missed out on portions of there. So I was kind of like, oh, I'm glad these are being recorded because I can go back and I can listen to them later. So which I was gonna talk. I'm gonna talk to maybe you and Keith about what it would look like to just take those and make those into podcasts really quickly to have available as well.
It's a good idea, but they're members only.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Never mind. I guess you got to
No,
become
because
a
I had the
member.
same idea. I had the
Yep.
same idea, and I'm like, I've got some great audio. The video, not so much, but the audio was fantastic.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do this with it. And then I thought, well, no, because it's members only.
YouTube
Um,
does have a podcast version of it though, but yeah, I don't know how that would
yeah,
work either.
let's not get
So,
off into the weeds on that one.
okay, we're not
Let's
getting there.
circle
All
back
right,
to
come
that.
back,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back,
That
come
doesn't have
back.
anything to do with the convention. Let's stick with the
Nope, that
convention.
doesn't.
We got this amazing banner, this background. We need to
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
focus.
Father's Eve came in strong
Yeah.
like John always does, and we had a great convention eve at the Pink Shark.
Do do
Uh,
do 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 do.
the, it was a neat space. It was I wish it didn't feel so much like a teenager's bedroom, trying to get the music to be at a level where I could actually hear the person sitting next to
You
me.
are so old.
I am. I
You are so
am so
old.
old.
But you're right. And realistically, we could look at a situation like that and say, we could use it a little quieter. We do want to find a place where you can have those conversations, but we're also looking for a place that is fun,
Oh,
that we
sure,
can
yeah.
we can have something, everybody seems to want most people want to drink, wants maybe little snacks, but it was very loud. And I did walk up to Keith and I took a $5 bill out and I said, "Excuse me, sir, do you think you could turn the music down a scoosh?" And he's like, "No, that I don't do that. It's the bartender." And I'm like, "Okay." And then you caught me and said the same thing basically, and you went over and fixed it.
Well, I went
And
over and asked them, and they turned it down for a few minutes. It was definitely like talking to a teenager. It was like, "Hey, can we get this turned down?" And it turned down for like 5 minutes, and then it was like the other bartender was like, "That's not loud enough," and it was like,
yep.
"Bloop," turn it right back up. And
Why
I'm
are
like,
we
"Well,
not at
this is."
11?
I'm like, "This." I was like, "This is a lost cause at
Yeah.
this point."
Yeah, it was good though. I think it was still good for a lot of people too because it is just that initial peak of the convention.
Right. Yep.
But I will say for yourself, of course, you know this already because you've done this. But for everybody else out there that went to the convention, you will or already have probably received a survey in your email.
Yep.
Put that on there if that's something you want to see that needs to be changed or you want to see it differently, and put it in there. I'm not saying we will change anything, but I will say we have changed a lot of things throughout the years based on our
Oh
survey
yeah.
results. So it's very likely that we will make a different plan next year for Convention Eve.
Yeah. Um. Also, I don't know who this person is because they're anonymous, so we're just gonna talk to anonymous for a second. But whoever you are, and I hope you're listening, thank you for taking a whole bunch of us on a boat trip down the river
Oh
Thursday
yeah.
night. That was awesome and
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of fun and probably super scary for the captain because
Scraping. Did you hit a light? Did you guys hit a light underwater or something like that?
I
Did
don't know
you
if it was a light, but I know on three separate occasions we scraped the bottom, and every time we did it, her response was, "Well, I've never hit bottom here before."
I'm
We're
sure
all
the
like,
water
"Are you
level
trying to
was
tell us
low,
Oh, yeah, well, actually,
yeah,
she said that it was a little bit low,
but
but
not much.
but
Not much.
still,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there
Yeah.
were a lot of burly men in
Mm-hmm.
that boat. We
Mm-hmm.
had fun. It was a good time. I mean, she was quite the character, Captain Jen,
Mm-hmm.
and like going the we hit where there's a lock, and so the
Mm-hmm.
boat had to
Yeah.
be raised up, and we were joking about we're like, is it usually this slow? Because of all of us in there.
The pumps are
Um,
straining, Captain. I'm not sure they can get us up.
Yeah, and then the best part was is on the way back we had to go back through the lock, and she had played the Jurassic Park opening of the gates
Nice.
while we were sitting there,
Nice.
And the
That's
best part
cool.
is that there were people walking across the bridge and you could see them. You couldn't see them when we were going the other way. And I'm like, help, we're stuck. And like one lady, like she looked like she was ready to snap into action and see if she could help us.
Yeah.
It was really funny. But yeah, that was a good trip. We had a good time and it seemed like everybody enjoyed themselves. I definitely got to see parts of the river that, maybe you didn't
Hmm.
make it that far down when you were
Yeah.
walking. So
And you got a lot of the history, which I know you were jazzed about, and
yeah.
many other dads were jazzed about. In fact, I brought this up at breakfast on must have been Saturday. Um, and I said, it amazed me the amount of history that's here and the amount that the tour guides know, which of course that's kind of their specialty. So of course they do. But I said, what's really cool is the number of dads that you'll see whip themselves into a little vortex of historical and architectural facts about the area that we're in. And so people that like yourself who have a great
Yep.
passion for this. And it was Dane Samus over here, and it was Brandon from Dad's Run 5K. Crap, Dad's
Yeah,
Run
the
5K. I'm sorry, Brandon. My brain.
from Plan to Run.
Plan to run. Oh, sorry. Sorry. We'll edit that, Brandon. Or actually, we'll probably leave it because I'm an idiot and everybody knows it. And no one would be surprised. But they were sitting at the end of the table, and one of them said something like, "I know, right? Like, did you know blank?" And it went out into the world, and the other one caught it like a butterfly and went, "Yes, my friend." And they had this. I mean, it was amazing. Just this volcano, slow explosion of information that came from those two, and they're just bouncing off of each other. And I'm like looking at everybody else at the table, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is where we're at. That we're in a
Yeah.
place where dads find those other dads who have that experience, knowledge, and passion about whatever it is, but in this case, history. And it was amazing, and I love that about it because the tour guides really started that. I think for a lot of us, maybe not started, but got us moving into um,
Yeah.
San Antonio history and architecture and stuff like that. So it was very cool.
And I misspoke. It was Wednesday night when we went on that boat trip, not Thursday night. So
Yeah, I thought
because
you said Wednesday, but okay.
I think I said
It's
Thursday, but
definitely Wednesday because
it was
Convention Eve is
definitely
Thursday.
Wednesday. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The
but yeah,
guys
so that
also
was
went tubing, which sounded like was a great time. Almost everybody had a perfect day. And one person lost their phone, but that's okay. But we won't say who. We don't need to.
Mm-mm.
Everybody that was there is the only
Everybody
people that
knows
needs to
who
know,
that person
and
was.
they know. Even though, I love you, little brother. It was cute. You trying to be all adulty and keep your stuff dry, and then
He just wanted a new phone. That's all that
Dad had to
was.
buy you a new phone. I understand. But anyway, yeah, but it was a great time. And I didn't want to do that. I thought about tubing in the heat. I thought about what I'd experienced in Georgia, and we used to shoot the hooch, as they call it. So you'd go tubing down the Chattahoochee. And I'm like, I don't want to lay on a tube in probably lukewarm water. It may have been cold, but I was expecting lukewarm water because that's what you get in Georgia. The top 10 feet is like, you know, it's 78, 80 degrees at least. And like, ugh, just sitting with your feet in water that's almost as warm as I am. It's in like in the, and then sitting in the sun, baking in the sun like a potato. And I'm just like, this is going to be miserable for me. I am going to come back dehydrated and wet and probably smell like the river and then sunburned the next day. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to be appealing. And I was wrong again, as I often am. That sounded like an amazing time. And I'm so happy that Matt Strain put it on actually and got it going. And everybody joined him. They were talking about it. And I'm like, well, dang, I should have gone. And it is what it is. I had other things to do on Wednesday. I drove for the brewery tour. So they couldn't find a driver to be sober the whole time. And the other thing is I heard, I'm like, so it's just a 15 passenger Chevy van. It's not like the really tall ones or anything, but I heard, I don't really want to drive a van like that in downtown, in a city. And I'm like, I love this. I love doing this. I really like driving big vans, big trucks,
Yeah.
and had a great time. We went to only three or four places, and they were amazing. Um, Tito Nieves, who put it on. And Tito, I'm sorry if I screwed up your last name, but I don't think I've ever heard you say it. I've just read it. But Tito, good job, man. Good job. And
That's
also thank you
awesome.
for buying my food to say thank you for me driving. Um, but it was great. And that was what I spent my day doing. And I think I had just as much fun. And I honestly think they might not have been able to find a driver easily. And if they couldn't find a driver, they'd had to do, like taxis from one to the other. And, the group is the thing. Being everybody together in that big van is the thing.
Yeah.
You don't
Yep.
need to two guys leave and then another taxi picks up four guys and then you all arrive within like 45 minutes of each other. And,
I
it
do
just
have to say
gets
now, I gotta say
crazy.
though, now who's old because there's not taxis around. It's all Ubers and Lyfts.
I am sorry, sir. There are taxis in San Antonio. I saw one. But yes, you're right. Lifts. They actually have a free electric taxi that you can use in San Antonio.
I never saw
We
that.
were,
I
yeah, we
remember
were
the
thinking
mention.
of.
I remember that being mentioned, but I never saw them.
Well, the reason I said don't use that is because how many cars do they have? They don't have a giant fleet of cars. So how long are
Yeah.
we going to be waiting on the street corner outside the brewery in the heat for a free taxi to show up?
Right? No
So
kidding.
way better in this case. Get all 10,
Yikes.
I think it was 10, 50 guys, whatever. Have them each pay 20, $25,
Yeah.
and that'll pay for the van, and you just all go together and have a good time. Nobody's got to get lost. Nobody gets left behind. Nobody has to sit in a cab by themselves.
Yeah.
It's way better to do it this way. So good job, Tito. Thank you. It was
Well,
great.
along the lines of beer, was the beer share,
Hmm.
which was done a little bit differently this year, but all still worked out quite well. I think
Texas.
that I, I think the reason that the beer share had to deal with so many hoops and ladders, is because of prior groups that have come in and just been completely unhinged in the way that they are. Because talking to the bartender and the police officer that were there, when it was explained to them what was going on in person and then what they saw, they were like, "Yeah, we have no problems with you. We're used to wolves and bears being down here just going crazy." He's like, "Y'all are a bunch of puppy dogs. Like, we got nothing to worry about with you guys. Like, have a great time." And they were awesome with us and really catered well to us. I mean, the we mentioned to the bartender that it would be cool to have the fight on, not realizing that we weren't going to really get to see the main event because of how late into the evening it went. But he brought his Fire Stick and plugged it in, and we got to watch all the side fight, all the flyaway cards. So
Yeah.
that was really cool.
I was
Um,
watching, if I remember correctly, a soccer game and a football game and the fight.
there was
I think that's,
definitely a
was that the
football game
three?
going. There was a
There were
football
three
game.
screens set up.
Um, I didn't see the soccer game, but I
Okay.
know like there was a group of guys watching the Notre Dame Texas A&M game on the laptop, which they would have much more rather had that been on the big screen. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't see the soccer game anywhere, so I don't know anything about that so much. But yeah, so it was fun. It was a good
Yeah.
time,
Really
and
good time.
the first night, a Friday night when they did it, was wild because you had that going on over there on the one side, and then on the other side you had guys playing games. We were trying to do a role playing game, which was interesting because it got really loud, especially when Arvis Brakeen gets to playing Bones. Gosh, that guy, I tell you what.
He's got to
But
show off,
anyway.
man. He's got to show off. Got to make that
um,
noise. Make sure you know he's in a room,
that's right. But
as he should.
we all had a fun time. It was good. I played Dungeons and Dragons for the first time, everybody,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed it. It was a blast. Thank you, Danny, for
Good.
setting up my character.
I'm
So
glad you
yeah,
enjoyed it. I really am.
it was a
First
lot of
time's
fun.
free.
Yep, it was good. I'm ready for round two at some point. So
Well, I will tell you, since we're talking about this, I loved running that game. I wish I could have had the time to run two. That game is just a lot of fun because it's not really in depth, and you get to throw any monster you can imagine in there and have people go, "What is that? That is a what? You can't put that. No, we're only seventh level. We can't handle that." Yeah. I threw a
it was like
beholder
a
as I did
last man
previously.
standing
Uh-huh.
wrestling match. It was like you
Yeah,
didn't know who was coming out from behind the curtain
that's
like
right.
every round.
And he has a chair. or a ladder. He pulled the ladder. Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. And we had one other player who'd never played before. And I'm not gonna. I guess I can. It's Matt Stevens. I don't know if you had ever met him previously, but he was
No.
sitting beside you.
Yeah, he
Um,
was. I would talk for a
yeah,
little bit.
so he did good. But I also had Tito in there, and I had Sterling, and they have played quite a bit, so they helped a lot
And
to keep
Dane,
things going. Yeah, and then Joe is there, and Joe's been playing with us
Joe
for
Zook.
maybe 6 months or so, and he'd never
Yeah.
played before that. And he is on every week trying to get a game to go in on Tuesday nights. They're running the endless dungeon on Tuesday nights, and they're like, guys, all we need is 4 players. Doesn't matter, bring it in, let's go. And it's great. It's really really cool to see how exciting it is for him, and he'll be running his own game soon. It's like my little boy is growing up. He leveled up. He's got to pass me. He's going to be at 20th level soon. But the other cool thing is I am absolutely talking to Phil Zimmerman, who is from the Hop on Pop Culture
Yes.
podcast, who professionally runs D&D games. He's generally a little more like it. He said bars, but I'm thinking just general other places, and it's theater of the mind, which means you don't get any of the props really. You don't get the minis or the platforms rising up and down. You don't get any of that, but he tells a good enough story to make it worth it. And I've already been talking to him like, hey, look, do you want to play that weekend? Do you want to run that weekend? Do you want to do a breakout on how to run D&D? Or one of the things I'm going to try to get done with Dane is to have a terrain making class, like how to
Mm.
make terrain and have everybody make their own terrain and go home with, like a floor tile or something. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But stuff like that. It feels like, yeah, because he lives very close or in Chicago. So
He
I'm
lives
like,
in Chicago. Yeah.
yeah, I told him, I said, look, dude, I would be willing to pay somebody for a really good game for other people, but I would love it too if you did it for free. I'm just saying. So we'll see how that works out. We'll see. He'll probably do it. We'll see. We'll see. I'm like I said, but I would be like, yeah, you're a professional. If you want to come in and it's
Yeah.
$50 and you do the whole table, cool. If it's $50 per person, screw you. You're not that good. That's I'm not. I would not personally pay $50 for one night of D&D because I've been playing it long enough. I can do it myself. But anyway, we're trying to get Phil to come in.
Yeah.
Dane's really excited. He already wants to run a game, and we'll see how his energy goes over the
I
next
think
year.
we need
Because
to I think we need to do those in its own separate room. As much as I like them being near the beer share and everything.
well, we
Like,
did have a room upstairs for that if it got too loud,
yeah.
but I didn't think it would get that loud. I didn't think it would get that loud. But I forgot that we had a DJ this year, and we had a sound system at the beer
Yeah.
share, and was actually
It just slowly ramped up,
yeah, yeah.
so it was pretty wild. So, but it was fun. Like I said, had a great time. I
And we
really
all know how to
appreciated
yell
it.
over, the beer
Yeah.
share and the music and the dominoes game going. We can be louder than that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was a good time, and I had
Hmm.
definitely a lot of fun with that.
Glad.
Um, but yeah, man, I mean, just to kind of a few other people to thank in here. So like definitely the beer share guys. Thank you so much like for
Yeah.
everything they did. They ended up raising $5,200 over the weekend, which is a phenomenal
Excellent.
number.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount of money.
That is
So,
just that will
great
help
job
so
there.
many dads.
Yeah, I mean, last year
Just
the St. Louis Beer Share brought 13 dads to the convention this year, so
hmm
already have a good amount of money to start on for next year. So that's really cool.
hmm
Um, we had Brian Moss from Fight Camp
hmm
came in, and it was cool to hear him talk about like, kind of
I don't
getting.
think he's from Fight Camp.
Is he? I thought he was.
He's a personal trainer, but he was showing us Fight Camp. Fight Camp
Oh,
sent us some stuff, and we were like, "Who can we get to like, demo this for us?" And
I
and
thought
I'm
that was
like,
him in the picture.
he does have his picture in there too, yeah, but it's not. I don't think he's
Okay.
with Fight Camp. I've been wrong before, but come on,
Okay. Yep. Sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at
my
this. It's
dad is stronger
definitely.
than yours.
Yeah, he talked about that. The fight camp was, yeah, it's a definite side to that because he's a boxer. That's where I was kind of getting
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
You
into
were
there. But
close. You were close, but I didn't
yeah,
want like Fight
nope.
Camp to hear that and go, "What? Who's this guy?" Or is he trying to represent us and he's not? We're gonna sue him. I don't know. Fight Camp's really cool. I don't think they would do it. Brian has seemed like a really cool guy. I don't think he'd care either. But yeah,
Yeah. No,
and
no, you're fine.
again, he presented, and he's already planning on coming to Chicago just to
Yeah.
be there with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
just to be there. And I'm like, yes, this is
I
what we
love
want.
I love it when speakers come and then they're just like, "Oh my gosh, like this is
How
part
do
of
I
my
come
community
again?
too. Like
Yeah.
I want to be a part of this." So you're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, man, you're welcome. It's all good. You don't have to always just come and present. Like you
Yep.
can come and just be a dad for the weekend."
And we have people that had foster kids previously, but don't have their own kids, don't have any kids in their
Yeah.
home now, but were a dad previously. It was amazing. It's just such a good group, and we keep coming back to that. And I will say I've heard that probably 6 or 8 times, and like Bob Evans even said it when he was there. We're a very very special group of people in that we don't have those walls and armor and ideas of I must act this way in order to be accepted by other men. There's a
Yeah.
lot of that like manosphere, red pill, alpha male garbage that happens in the world. And we're much more about, hey, how are you? I mean, that's pretty much it. How many kids do you have? That's the question I heard
Yep.
most, throughout the weekend. And, just it's about community in such a way that I don't think we find anywhere else. People talked about our Facebook group. I've been on a lot of other Facebook groups for dads and men. And like one of the things I always find is that they bash their partners, get super negative about them. No. And I said, one, the admin team kind of tries to keep that down, but two, the membership stops it. Things
Yeah.
like that happen or are said, and the membership steps up just as fast as any admin and says, we don't really talk like that here. That's not
Yeah.
the kind of thing that we really want people saying because of how damaging it is to your relationship, your partner, and things like that. And it's been a really, really amazing journey, to getting to this point. So,
Yeah. No, definitely.
are we out
It's
of time?
we're
My
yeah,
alarm
we're
went just
pretty
went.
much up against
So,
the wall there.
real quick,
Yep.
why not?
Oh, I was
Board
gonna get into that.
nominees,
Yep. Board
Hogan Hilling. Let's
nominees.
do those real quick.
Yep. So brand new to the board. We also leaving the board had Keith Nagel. Uh,
Quitter,
is oh poor guy. Keith Nagel, Matt Strain, and who was the
Gerard Guzman.
and Gerard Guzman
Hmm.
are all stepping away from the board after giving their life for the past 3 or 6 years
Yep.
to the organization, and
Hmm.
definitely thank them for all their hard
Yes.
work
Very
and
grateful
stepping
gentlemen.
into their very big shoes. Will be Joshua Bernstein, um, Kiernan. I can't pronounce his last
Ocampo,
Ocampo, and
Josh
I got the wrong page.
Mosley.
That's why. And Josh Mosley. Sorry, I flipped to the Hogan Hilling. I was like, that's not
Come
right.
on, Josh. You know I love you more than Brock. I will never forget your name. You remember that, buddy. Okay.
And Josh Mosley.
Well, the big thing too is there's a Josh and a Joshua, and it has already gotten confusing. It's only been a couple of days. I'm like, wait. Do you mean Josh or Joshua? Where are we at? So, but it's
You got
it's been
JB
fine.
and JM. That's how
Yeah,
you got to
yeah, that would do it.
start
JM.
calling Joshua Bernstein JB. That would, there you go.
But
That
but
works for him.
on top of that too, and congratulations, guys. I've already said this to you personally, but very glad you're on the board. Happy to
Yeah.
have you. Get ready to
Yep.
work. And then the other part of that, I want to say that this was brought up on the Dad Lounge Monday night, which was very busy. Is our onboarding process is for each one of them is not complete. We're just doing our first initial meetings with them this week, which I think if you recall, same with me, we never had initial meetings. It was just like, welcome to the board. Here's Slack. Get ready. What do I
Dude.
do now? I don't know what we do now. Find something.
The
We're not doing that at
privilege
all.
in these new board
We have,
members, I tell you
yeah,
what, it
we
is.
have we have video training videos for them to watch. We have paperwork and stuff, of course, to sign. We now have a CDA, which basically is just it's going to be for all volunteers soon, and then an NDA for the board. Just a lot of things that have changed over the year because this brought up. And I was driving, and I didn't want to try to bust into that conversation because you guys were enjoying that. This sucks. Doesn't suck that bad anymore. It's gotten better. And I thank Chris Griffin for that, sir. I are much appreciated, and it'll get better next year as well because we're
Oh,
using
sure.
this as our first template. But I wanted to say that because I'm proud of it. We
Yeah.
need
Yeah, it's
this.
good.
We've needed this for years, and I don't think anybody really recognized how valuable it is because we want these guys to hit the ground running and not lose that momentum. And
Yep.
then,
You got
last
Hogan
but not
Hilling.
least,
No,
Hogan Hilling.
there's two awards actually. Hogan
Oh
Hilling.
my God! Sorry. Yes.
We Hogan Hilling goes to a member of the organization who contributes volunteering time. very well deserved. Went to Dale Van Valera, and his. I think I got that right.
It's pretty good.
Um,
It was good. Yeah,
I felt
it
like
was
it was
close
pretty
enough.
close. Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. Very
because
close.
he
Almost
oversees
perfect.
the volunteers for the
Hmm.
organization, and he's been doing that for the past couple years now. And
Hmm.
so definitely greatly appreciate on that. So he was
And
the
he
winner for that.
took over for the Facebook admin chair from me, which I will be grateful forever because that job sucks. And I was really getting tired of being the only person, that people could think of when they wanted, who's the most negative person on Facebook group? Danny.
Yeah,
What? No, I just, this is my job. But
Danny. Yeah, I could
the
see
other
that.
part, which you remembered, and
And
it's not in the
the
thing.
also too, so before that one, the beer share does a friend of the share as their award, and it went to Melissa Davidson, who we haven't even
Hmm.
talked about at all,
Nope.
who was our closing keynote, and she was
Amazing.
amazing. I knew she would be amazing at it, and it was just that was an amazing talk. And if you missed it and you remember, that's my number one. Like, go there first and listen to that one because
Yeah.
it was great. And then go to the
Yep.
beginning of the first keynote. And so
And
start
move
from the
from
back
there.
and go to the front. But for the last award was the Al Watts Alumni Award.
Hmm.
And that went to Lorne
Hmm. Jaffe.
Jaffe. Jaffe. See,
Jaffe.
I knew I was going to mess that up. But yeah,
Everybody knows it's not your specialty. I think everybody understands.
good. I'm glad. Low expectations. Uh,
Uh,
so yeah, but yeah,
Lauren
Lauren
Jaffe. Yep.
was the winner of the Al Watts alumni, and
Hmm.
I think he's still processing that he won that award.
Hmm.
I believe is what I saw recently him post. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean
And he earned
he's been around
it.
for a while,
Oh
and
my
he's been
God.
helping out with the mental health
And
breakout for
and
years.
the thing is with Lauren, and this is what I'm so proud of him about, is that his social anxiety is literally crippling. He struggles just to text, just to be on social media, just to be on our
Yeah,
Discord to talk with us. He struggles to do that. And he's got so much weight on his shoulders. And honestly, like all of us doing that, he makes it look easy sometimes. And then other times it kind of crushes him and he's got to sit down and go, no, I'm smashed flat now. But he
yeah,
comes back every time and he leads that mental health breakout every time. And I am so grateful. I did not put his name in um, for that. I'm going to cry. And he asked me, he said, did you do this? I'm like, no, no, I voted for you and I will be happy to tell anybody that. But nope, I did not put your name in. Someone else did. And
that's
I and
awesome.
he thought
Yeah,
I did because I know him and he's my hero. And I'm like, I know why you think it was me, but no, there are other people, so many other people who recognize what you've done over the years because he is so quiet about it. He can be in the room and you won't know it because he doesn't want you to notice him. He doesn't want that attention. He wants to just kind of experience. And seeing him this year and last year, he karaoke last year. What? It was amazing. So yeah, Lauren, you're my hero and I love you. But from a very grateful organization, thank you.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, so that was kind of how things wrapped up, and then the
Mhm.
announcement, which most people kind of knew about, but for those who didn't, is that October 1st through October 3rd of 2026, we will have our 30th Home Dad Con back in the homeland where it all began in Chicago, Illinois, and we are going to be right downtown,
Mhm.
just minutes from the Navy Pier and minutes from the river at the Embassy Suites um, on the, I don't know, River North or something like that.
Doing better than me. I just knew it was NBC Suites. I didn't even. I
Yeah.
looked at both of them, but I don't remember. But
So,
I
but
want
yeah,
to say,
say so. Yeah, so we're gonna be there. Tickets for those who are there to get the special little incentive has already passed,
hmm,
but it was more for those who had already gone, and then it was actually put on different places for people to find. But it's now regular ticket sales, and it's $300 for that. Um, that is just for the ticket. There's also then the added in of the $35 for the membership fee
Mm-hmm.
as well. So there's 335 that you're up to on that, and then
Mm-hmm.
they will be announcing the hotel information here very soon as well with
It,
that.
it'll be out by the time the podcast comes out. I think it's out already, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
probably.
The funny thing is too is they wouldn't let us start booking at this time because it's more than 365 days. They're
Yeah.
like, no, no, it's got to be within a year. We can't, like, well, it's like a year and a week, or can we, like, no, no, 365. So we'll have an announcement up for it, and then the room rates and all that, and when the room block is open,
Yep.
which I'm like, come on, we have committed to a contractual agreement. No, not gonna happen. But I want to say, and we need to be very specific about this too, that the reason we're going to Chicago, because there's no way we could have done it. It is too expensive. We could not have made this happen without the amazing donations from Rob Taville. Rob
Yes.
has been a member of the organization for I don't know, decades. I don't know. He's been around for a very long time, but he'd stepped away for a little bit. Kids kind of aged out, and now he's gotten back. He's come back for the last 2 years, I think. Sorry, Rob, if I don't remember. You know me, brain dead. I do my best, but it's amazing to see him there because we are seeing some of these OGs, that are coming back and looking at it and going, "Wow, this is yeah, you guys are doing good. This is
Yep.
good stuff." And to hear that from someone like him, and then also to have him reach out financially to us.
Yeah.
And I mean, oh my God, man. But again, I think it's kind of cool because he was like, I would like it to be in Chicago. Can you make that happen? And he wasn't demanding. He wasn't, hey, I'll pay you if you do it. He was like very kind about it. Like, I want the organization to have this money, but I
Yeah.
want, if we can, to move it to Chicago. And he's just been amazing. Rob, I
Which had already
thank
been
you.
kind of talked about, but yeah, like there was just the
Yeah.
hurdle of like, how do we financially make this possible? So,
Right. We
yeah.
wanted to, but yeah, we were striking out on that one until Rob came in and really just and it's
Yeah.
going to be great. I'm so excited from this one. I'm so excited for the next one. I can't wait.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great. Definitely. So I think we have to end there because otherwise we're going to end up
Yeah,
going
we're
into
running
another
forever,
show
right?
for forever. But it's a recap show. So, people
And
know
we
that
could
it's going
talk
to
for
be long.
like 9 more hours. Come on.
Easily.
It was
Easily.
such a good event.
We
So
could. Uh, so yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on. So make sure to check or at homedad.org or homedadcon.org to find
mhm.
information on
And
that,
at
and
home.dad.
at home.dad.
And we worked
And
hard for that.
we will talk to you all next week. So have a good one.
Good night, everybody.